Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make classic shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb, cottage pie is made with ground beef. You can make either using this exact same recipe. It's just a matter of swapping out the meat. We're gonna start by making homemade mashed potatoes, so you'll need 3 to 4 large russet potatoes. Once they're peeled and rinsed, you'll want to cut them into little cubes. I like to go about 1 inch so they cook just a little bit faster. Then we're gonna add these to a large pot of water and bring them to a boil. Let the potatoes boil until tender, which will take about 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make the mince and veggie layer that will go on the bottom of our shepherd's pie. You'll need 1 to 1.5 pounds of ground lamb or ground beef. This is ground lamb. We're gonna break it up and brown it off for about 5 minutes. Drain off any excess grease, and then we're gonna add in a white diced onion. We'll let this continue cooking until the onions are soft and the lamb is cooked all the way through, which will take about 5 to 7 minutes. Once that's all cooked through, we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of butter. We'll let that fully melt before sprinkling in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We're gonna mix this in until all the white specks disappear and let it cook for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then pour in 3 cups of beef broth, a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Stir this in and bring it to a simmer. As it comes to a simmer, the flour will cause the liquid to thicken up. Once it's nice and thick, you can add in 1 to 1.5 cups of frozen peas and carrots, about 1/2 cup of frozen corn, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and then about a 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. We'll stir this in. And then that's it for the filling. This is very forgiving. You can kind of choose whether you want to load it up with meat or if you want to load it up with veggies. At this point, your potatoes should be nice and tender. Drain your potatoes well and then transfer them to a mixing bowl. Then we'll add in a 1/4 cup of butter, about a 1/4 cup of cream cheese, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then either use a potato masher or a hand mixer to whip this all together. I like to use a hand mixer because it's easier on the arms. Once those are nice and mashed, we're ready to assemble our shepherd's pie. Scoop your meat and veggie filling into the bottom of a lightly greased 9x13 pan or 2.5 to 3-quart casserole dish. Then we'll scoop our mashed potatoes on top and kind of spread those out. It doesn't have to be pretty. Then I'm going to grate some sharp cheddar cheese and sprinkle it on top of the potatoes. Then we're gonna bake this uncovered in a 350-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until the cheese is warm and bubbly and browned. And then that's it. You are ready to eat. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow, and check out the rest of my videos, where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. See you later.